there comes a quiet moment when you begin questioning your own heart. Every decision feels heavier. Every choice feels uncertain. Even the voice inside that once guided you starts sounding farther away. If you've been second-guessing yourself, wondering whether you've lost your way, or feeling as though everyone else knows something you don't, then tonight is a place to come home to yourself. Because beneath the doubt, beneath the overthinking, beneath every moment you've questioned your worth, your inner wisdom has been waiting patiently, still here, still steady. Tonight isn't about becoming someone different. It's about remembering the person who has been within you all along. And as this evening gently unfolds, you may discover that trust was never lost. It was simply waiting for you to hear it again. Your breathing begins to find its own gentle rhythm. Slowly, quietly, each inhale arriving with a little more ease. Each exhale leaving with a little more trust. Again, the breath arrives. Again, the breath returns. The air feels fresh, carrying the delicate scent of blooming frangipani, warm wood, and the quiet stillness that settles at the close of the day. Something within you recognizes that feeling, a feeling of coming home. The breath moves without hesitation, without questioning whether it belongs. It simply arrives. Again, the inhale creates space. Again, the exhale softens what has been held for too long. The constant need to analyze, to second guess, to search for certainty begins to loosen its place within you. The thoughts continue drifting gently, yet they no longer ask for all of your attention. They pass, leaving wider spaces between them. And within those quiet spaces, something familiar begins to emerge. A steadiness that never asked for proof. A wisdom that never disappeared. A quiet knowing that has remained patiently beside you through every season of uncertainty. The breath continues, steady, warm, faithful in its rhythm. Just as the fire continues offering warmth long after the brightest flames have settled. Just as the ocean continues meeting the shore without wondering whether it will find its way. Your breath carries that same quiet wisdom. It knows how to return. It knows how to begin again. It knows the way home. And with every gentle inhale, that quiet knowing feels a little closer. With every unhurried exhale, the distance between you and yourself becomes a little smaller, until breathing no longer feels like something you are doing. It feels like someone within you softly whispering, "I've been here all along." Another slow breath and a deeper settling begins. The quiet effort of carrying every decision, every second thought, every moment of uncertainty begins to lose its place within you. For a long time, the mind searched for another answer, another sign, another reason to keep questioning. And while the mind searched, the body waited patiently. Now the body begins speaking again. The breathing grows fuller. The space within you feels wider. The constant pull towards certainty begins to soften, making room for something gentler. The body no longer reaches toward every unanswered question. It begins resting inside what it already knows. A quiet steadiness spreads through you, the way warmth slowly moves through stone after a long afternoon beneath the sun. Unhurried, reliable, present. That steadiness continues expanding. The effort of holding yourself together begins to dissolve. The habit of doubting each step begins growing lighter. The habit of asking for permission begins fading into the background. And something deeper begins taking its place. A calm confidence, a quiet familiarity with your own presence. The body begins trusting its own rhythm, its own timing, its own quiet intelligence. Every breath feels a little more settled. Every passing moment feels a little more grounded, as though your whole system is gathering itself. instead of pulling in different directions. The space between your thoughts becomes wider. The space within your heart becomes gentler. The distance between who you are and who you've been trying to become grows smaller. And slowly you begin feeling whole again. Not because every answer has arrived, because your own presence begins feeling enough. The warmth continues resting around you. The evening continues unfolding beyond the window. The fire continues offering its quiet glow. And within that same gentle rhythm, your body begins remembering something beautifully simple. It has carried you through every season of your life. Every beginning, every ending, every uncertain road, every quiet victory. It has always known how to move forward. And now it begins remembering how to trust itself again. The evening has become beautifully quiet now, and without quite noticing how, you find yourself walking along a familiar stone path. It feels as though you've walked this way before, perhaps many times. Each step carries the memory of questions that have followed you for so long. Did I choose wisely? Should I have spoken differently? Would life have changed If I had trusted myself sooner, the questions rise gently, then drift away again, carried by the breeze, moving softly through the flowering trees. The scent of frangipani lingers in the evening air. Warm stone beneath your feet still holds the last light of the afternoon. Far below, the ocean continues meeting the cliffs, wave after wave, without ever questioning where it belongs. And somehow, that quiet rhythm begins to settle inside you too. The path opens toward a small stone home overlooking the sea. Golden light spills gently through wide glass windows. A fire glows patiently inside. Its warmth reaches you before you ever step through the doorway, as though this place has always known you were coming. You wander inside slowly. The room feels deeply familiar, not because you've been here before, because it feels the way home has always been meant to feel. Peaceful, welcoming, gentle enough that every part of you can finally rest. A wooden chair waits beside the fire. The blanket rests softly across its arm. Everything seems to arrive without asking anything from you. You settle into the warmth, watching the last colors of evening stretch across the horizon beyond the window. The fire crackles quietly nearby. Outside, the frangipani sways gently in the ocean breeze. Its blossoms continue opening without wondering whether they are enough, without comparing themselves to the flowers beside them. Simply becoming exactly as they were created to become. The waves continue their endless return to the cliffs below, each one arriving, each one receding, each one trusting the rhythm that carries it home. And sitting quietly beside the fire, you begin seeing your own life with gentler eyes. The decisions that shaped you, the moments that challenged you, the seasons that asked more of you than you thought you could give. None of them were mistakes. Each one became part of the person now sitting here, a little wiser, a little softer, a little more whole than you realize. The room grows quieter still. The fire continues glowing. The horizon remains open beyond the glass. And for the first time in a long while, you stop searching for another version of yourself. You stop asking who you should have been. You stop measuring yourself against a different path. Because the person you've been looking for has been sitting here all along, waiting patiently just beyond the noise of self-doubt. warmth reaches a little deeper. The evening grows a little softer, and somewhere between the glow of the fire, the fragrance of the blossoms, and the endless horizon beyond the sea, your heart quietly whispers, "I think I can trust you again." And as the evening grows quieter, something deeper continues awakening within you. The same quiet wisdom that has guided every heartbeat, every breath, every step that brought you here. It has remained with you through every season, through every question, through every beginning, through every ending. It never asked to be louder than fear. It simply waited patiently until you were ready to listen again. just as the fire continues offering warmth without asking to be seen, your inner wisdom continues offering guidance without asking to be proven. Again and again, it has carried you. Again and again, it has whispered before the mind began to question. Again and again, it has known the next step long before every answer became visible. The ocean never doubts its return to the shore. The trees never doubt the season of their blooming. The morning never doubts the arrival of its light. And your own life carries that same quiet intelligence. It already knows how to unfold. You begin trusting your own timing. You begin trusting your own voice. You begin trusting the quiet feeling that rises gently from within. Not because every uncertainty has disappeared, because your relationship with uncertainty has changed. You carry less fear, more openness. Less resistance, more curiosity. Less second guessing, more listening. Your own heart begins sounding familiar again. Your own voice begins feeling trustworthy again. Your own presence begins feeling like a place you can lean into. And each day, that trust grows naturally with every experience, with every choice, with every gentle return to yourself. The wisdom within you becomes easier to recognize, easier to follow, easier to live from, until one day, trusting yourself feels as effortless as breathing, as steady as the fire beside you, as faithful as the tide returning home, as natural as becoming exactly who you have always been. Because the wisdom you have been searching for has quietly been walking beside you every step of the way. This quiet knowing begins to stay with you now, finding its place within the ordinary moments of your life. the moments that once invited hesitation. The moments that once asked you to question yourself. The moments where every decision felt heavier than it needed to be. And gently, those moments begin to feel different. You pause, and clarity arrives with a little more ease. You choose without carrying every possible outcome. You listen before the noise has a chance to speak over your own heart. A quieter confidence begins guiding your days. Not loud enough to seek attention, steady enough to remain beside you. You may notice it while answering a message, beginning a conversation, making a simple decision, walking into a room, starting something new, or simply sitting quietly with yourself. Life continues offering choices, and you continue meeting them with a calmer presence, with a steadier heart, with a growing trust in the wisdom that has always lived within you. The need for constant reassurance begins to fade. The habit of second guessing begins to soften. And in its place, a quieter relationship with yourself begins to grow. You become someone who listens inward before looking outward. Someone who values their own experience, their own timing, their own quiet understanding. Each day strengthens that relationship. Each choice deepens that trust. Each gentle return to yourself reminds you that your life has always been shaped by the wisdom you carry within. And as that truth becomes part of the way you move through the world, your steps feel steadier, your heart feels lighter, your path feels more familiar. Because wherever life leads next, you walk beside someone you can finally rely on, yourself. The fire continues its quiet glow. The evening settles gently beyond the window. The horizon rests peacefully beneath the stars. And now, so do you. The questions that carried you here have become softer. The uncertainty that once felt so close has begun drifting into the distance. What remains is something quieter, something steadier, a quiet knowing that has always lived within you. a quiet wisdom that has walked beside you through every chapter of your life. A quiet trust that asks very little, only that you listen. Tomorrow will bring new moments, new choices, new paths waiting to unfold. And when they arrive, you will meet them with the same quiet presence that rests within you tonight. You will hear your own heart more clearly. You will recognize your own wisdom more easily. You will remember that every step you have taken has shaped the person you have become. And every step ahead will continue revealing the person you are becoming. So, let sleep hold you now. Let the warmth carry you. Let the quiet restore you. And as the night gently unfolds around you, rest peacefully in this simple truth. The voice you've been searching for has always been your own.